This is Bruce Friedman of Adult Site Broker, and welcome to Adult Site Broker Talk, where every week we interview one of the movers and shakers of the adult industry, and we give you a tip on buying and selling websites. This week we'll be talking to Shakun Sethi of Tickle.life. Adult Site Broker is proud to introduce ASB Marketplace, the first platform where you can buy and sell adult sites and domains for free. ASB Marketplace allows buyers and sellers the chance to come together on properties that are valued below our company's minimum of $50,000. Don't pay for other marketplaces when ASB Marketplace gives you this service for free. Visit asbmarketplace.com and sign up as a seller or a buyer today. And don't forget ASB Cash, the first affiliate program for an adult website brokerage where you can earn as much as 20% of our broker commission referring sellers and buyers to us at Adult Site Broker. Check out asbcash.com for more details and to sign up. Now let's feature our property of the week that's for sale at Adult Site Broker. Internet.com, the ultimate internet domain, is now available, and we are proud to list it. The domain gets 6 million unique visitors a month. This domain can be used for any of a number of uses. The opening bid is only $35 million. Now time for this week's interview. My guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk is Shakun Sethi, the founder and CEO of Tickle.life. Shakun, thanks for being with us today on Adult Site Broker Talk.
Thank you so much, Bruce, for inviting me and letting me put across the message that Tickle.life resonates with. I'm so excited and I'm really, really looking forward to talking to you today.
As am I. Now, Tickle.life was started as a quest to find the right sex toy. They spent 2 years looking for the right people to talk to. This is what led to the creation of Tickle.life in 2019. The company is based in San Francisco. Tickle.life is the world's first discovery platform where sexual well-being meets lifestyle. Tickle.life intends to not just normalize conversations around sexual well-being, they want to become a safe and responsible platform that furthers industry interests and sensitizes the society about sexual needs and possibilities. Tickle.life believes in promoting a sex-positive environment that is safe, inclusive, free of judgment, and that respects your privacy. Now, Shakun is the founder and CEO of Tickle.life. She has over a decade of experience in community management, international communications, brand management, and digital media. Inclusivity is paramount for her, and that is evident in her work. She supports fundraising for various social causes and supports various NGOs. Now, let's start out with the basics. What exactly is Tickle.life?
What we're trying to do with Tickle.life is create an ecosystem where it becomes easier for people to discover not just things about sexual well-being, but also for the industry to discover different resources, different infrastructure, different partners that they can be looking out for. Mm-hmm. And hence we call it a discovery platform. We just want the industry as a whole. We just want the messaging of sexual well-being discoverable all across the world.
Okay. Is it more of a B2B or a B2C platform?
We are more of a B2C platform. Mm-hmm. But what has happened is, because you would know and all the listeners would know because they're from the industry, they'll just realize that it becomes very, very difficult to go into the market because of shadow banning, mm-hmm. Because there are platforms which are not sex positive.
Right.
So even when we had to grow, it became very important for us to go out and create those products and services so that we could grow. And while we were doing this, we just realized that, we just can't keep them to ourselves. We would have to give them to the industry as well. Mm-hmm. So technically, we are still B2C because we are trying to grow. Yeah. But we do understand while we're doing it, we are creating services, we are creating technology, mm-hmm. which will help the industry as a whole. And we've started giving it out to the industry as well.
Okay. If I go to Tickle.life, what am I going to find there?
You're going to find over 350 collaborations between industries, between individuals, academicians, between influencers who are talking about sexual well-being all
Hmm.
across. And that's what is shown to the end user.
Okay.
Second thing, what you're going to see is you're going to find the biggest listing service of sex positive podcasts in the world.
Hmm.
Third, what you're going to find is you're going to find the services that we were talking about, which we are using and which we want to give to the industry. Like we became the first podcast hosting service, which is completely sex positive.
Hmm.
That has not happened before. Because if
Yeah.
you really look at any of the services that are available, they will always have a caveat in their terms and condition that if suppose something goes explicit, or if suppose something which the team thinks or the legal team thinks that is not is this is related to sex, they would
Hmm.
not allow it or they might ban it. That's
Yeah.
where we come into. you know it doesn't matter if you use a term like adult, it doesn't matter
Hmm.
if you use a term like sex, as long you're talking about something which is related to your well-being, for the user's well-being, we're absolutely okay. So our moderation works in a completely different manner. We are never
Hmm.
going to shadow ban you just because you're talking about sex, because we created the service for ourselves first and we have a sex positive podcast.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's kind of like so many vendors that we have to deal with in the industry, whether it be banks, processors, social media platforms in general. It seems like more and more and more they're banning adult companies.
Absolutely. And that was the thing, because when we started, so me and my co-founder, we come from the startup world. And we never understood like what exactly we were trying to resolve or solve. We just
Hmm.
knew that this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sexual well-being discoverable. So see,
Hmm.
we actually put that there are two main problems
Hmm.
in the industry right now. Industry, or in fact, like industry would be a wrong term, I would say, in the world.
Hmm.
Number one is it's difficult to discover. Like you actually just informed people about who I am, and it took 2 years to find the right people.
Yeah.
Just imagine if I desperately needed somebody. It just is a deterrent to my growth as a person.
Yeah.
So what number one is discoverability, and the reason why the discoverability is an issue, because of shadow banning,
Hmm.
because other platforms, and we don't even say that those platforms are doing something wrong. That's their market, that's their business. So we are
Right.
not there to point fingers at them,
I
because
am.
that's so at least we are not Tickle Dot
Okay.
Life. We just believe
Good for
that
you.
if yeah, we just think that this is an opportunity
Right.
to work, and they would never ever understand what exactly we need.
Hmm.
That only we people can understand, as the industry.
Okay. Now you're from India. How sex positive and open are they there about all this?
Yesterday, somebody was asking me this question,
Yeah.
and I see a very, very interesting change happening.
Mhm.
So, India is right now in the stage of awareness,
Yeah.
and we're just talking about sexual well-being. I'm not talking about adult toys being sold,
Mm.
the consumption of content. I'm just talking about as the like how we have evolved. We're
Yeah.
still at the first stage of awareness,
Mm.
and that's when the exploratory stage comes.
Yeah.
So I would just say that we are at the first stage, but people are getting positive.
Right.
It's divided into two.
Yeah.
Some cities, some population is really evolved. They really want to talk about things. Like we do have different rooms that we set up on different platforms, on our platform. And we do see that people from India come, they ask questions, and they have genuine, relevant questions.
Good.
And they have relevant needs.
Yes.
So I'll just say that, we're still at the awareness level, because a lot of them on an average are related to what is this
Hmm.
rather than how to use this.
Hmm.
So that's a positive input. It's just like it will take a lot of time, but if you really think about it, even if there's a very small percentage of people who are ready to explore,
Yeah.
the population is so high
Right.
that it will be equivalent to maybe like population of another country
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah. I
So
guess. Yeah.
yeah,
The old world is still coming to grips with things happening in the new world.
yeah, and I just think that people, especially during COVID, it just gave a very big opportunity for people to explore and to ask themselves, what is happening? What do I want? rather than what somebody else would want or what would people think, because you're stuck inside your house. Then you start thinking just about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, the biases that have been created with the adult industry or sexual well-being industry has a lot to do with the taboo, and a
Yeah.
taboo comes from the society.
Yeah.
So when you're already, like not a part of the society anymore, thanks to COVID, then what are you going to do? You're going to start exploring yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty male dominated there, isn't it?
In what way?
In India.
Male dominated as the industry or
No,
people?
I'm just
The
talking about the society.
Ah,
Or is that or is that not the case anymore?
I would just say that it's just not India,
Hmm.
because
Oh,
when
sure.
we, yeah, when
Sure.
we just started, like at least when I started being a woman, and
Hmm.
I just thought that, what, oh, there are these problems which happen in India. It's a male dominated country. People would not talk about sex.
Yeah.
People would be very judgmental. If I go out and tell them that, this is what we are getting into and it's completely, completely about sex and
Yeah.
sexual well being, people are going to judge me. But
Sure.
interestingly enough, that did not happen.
Good. That's
And
good.
yeah, absolutely. It's really, really good. Like I spent 2 years just to think that, am I ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I think I should not have used those two things just to think, should have just done it.
Yeah.
And the same kind of experiences I'm also experiencing across the world.
Right.
So it's not very different. The only difference is, again, the inquisitiveness or the level of understanding or the level of knowing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here, it's a bit less because there are BDSing communities, there are kinky people, everything is happening, but it's all
Everywhere.
underground.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course.
So it's more underground here.
Oh,
That's how
sure.
I will
Oh,
divide it.
sure. And throughout a lot of Asia. Maybe not as much here in Thailand, but to a degree it is. There's still
Yeah.
a lot of traditionalism. Um, and now obviously you're in your infancy with the platform. What are your plans for the platform?
Very simple plan. Something which is very obvious and which has to be done is to bring anybody and everybody who is in the sexual well-being industry together.
Hmm.
Because unless we do not come together, we would not be able to make the impact that is needed
Yeah.
globally. So it's about, let's create a community, let's provide the information which the end user or your customer or people who are really looking out for it and even not looking out for it get. So once that is done, there are so many things that can be done. But like if you just think about from the revenue point of view, we are maturing into, like I said, that we have started providing a lot of services which we were using or which we are using or which we will be developing for the industry.
Yeah.
So it just makes it very, very easy that, hey, how do you work on it?
Right.
Or what is the difference? Like a very small example, when we had to hire somebody internally for search engine optimization, it took us so long to find the right people because they did not understand. They would categorize us as somebody who is running a porn site because the keywords are similar.
Yeah.
It's absolutely because they don't know. It's just a very, very niche understanding. And then we started creating that capability internally. And that's how we also are in a position to say that, hey, do you need SEO? Which is for your industry, come, let's have a chat. Let's see how do we make it happen. Same thing goes with the podcast hosting service.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with in future newsletters, like our newsletter, whenever we send, and most of the other people who would send, they would go in spam. Ours does not.
Yeah.
Unless you flagged it that it has to go in spam, it would not. And our open rate is 20%, which is
Yeah.
way too high even for a consumer good.
Yeah, I've got a guy that does that for me, and I pay him well, and yeah, I get those kind of open rates too. But it's not easy, and you better be good.
Absolutely. And now that we have created that system and it's all automatic, and on top of that, we actually are trying to make the industry self-sufficient. That hey, we'll take few classes, we'll take few like coaching classes for you. How do you make that email that does not go to the spam?
Yeah.
So it's more of a hand holding because that's how the community works and you have to help each other. So it's just not about, just like, hey, you know what, you pay us money and we will do it. Let's do it together. So that if tomorrow you want to start doing it on your own, you can do it.
I'll be in
Because we
that.
also,
I'll be in that class.
yeah, great. So
Sign me
we're
up.
we're launching it very soon.
Okay.
I'll surely ask the team to send you an email. But that's what we want to do. Like I said, that everybody has to work together, and everybody cannot work together if you're just thinking of yourself as a tech company.
Yeah,
We don't want to think of ourselves as a tech company.
absolutely.
We want the change to happen. We want another front to be created,
Hmm.
which is a sexual well-being front,
Sure.
so that tomorrow, whenever I have kids, and if they go, they do not have to be ashamed, or they do not have to know or say that I don't know.
Fantastic. And now, how are you finding the intersection between content and infrastructure?
Very simple and very easily done. I'm
Hmm.
just being modest here. It's
Hmm.
not, but still. So what we do is our content is more like an aggregator platform.
Right.
So people who are writing content onto their platforms, or have a lot of content which is just lying around,
Yeah.
or or it's completely hidden on the Google ranking, we
Hmm.
ask them, why don't you start showcasing it onto our platform?
Hmm.
So we actually end up creating microsites for everyone.
Nice.
So when microsites are created, that's one part. Second facet is, we would also ask a lot of those people, because we're also providing traffic, to give new content pieces, because we also have to work on the SEO part. You need
Hmm.
new content, you need old content, you need people to actually, there are a lot of questions that keep on coming, so we need content created from that angle. So a lot of people also provide the new content pieces, especially who do not have blogs.
Yeah.
And the third is what Tickle.life provides. So we also provide content
Good.
onto the platform as an entity. We do not provide like, hey, you know what, it's ours, so we can put anywhere. We also have a microsite for us.
Hmm.
So it becomes like multiple microsites,
Hmm.
and those microsites can be used anywhere.
Hmm.
You can use it to publicize yourself. You can use it just to showcase your work experience.
Hmm.
You can use it to like showcase what kind of writings you have, or what kind of thought process you have from the industry point of view.
Hmm.
Same thing we do with podcasts. So anybody who hosts a podcast onto our service also gets a microsite.
Good.
So that microsite will have all the links of all the different platforms that you are on. Usually we share on four, but with a lot of people, they just end up saying that, hey, you know what, I get traffic from an XYZ platform. Can I showcase there also? Which is absolutely fine, and we can
Hmm.
do it.
Good.
So that's next. And the third and the last one is when we are listing a lot of podcasts and a lot of video content platforms.
Hmm.
So they also get their microsites. So suppose if tomorrow you list your podcast on Tickle.live, which I would love if you would,
Okay.
we already have over like 300 plus podcasts.
Yeah.
So you get like you actually get a microsite.
Hmm.
And that
Okay.
microsite looks pretty, it has explanation, because
Hmm.
otherwise you just keep on asking people, hey, are you on Spotify, are you on iTunes? Suppose if I was not on iTunes and you share Spotify link, I would never go.
Right.
But here all the links are together.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
do not have to go and work on creating your website,
Hmm.
take care of it. It just becomes like a big marketplace
Hmm.
with your details. People can connect with you on your social networks, on your email, on tickle.live. And that's how it actually ends up, maturing into. That's the content
Have
piece.
you ever been told you're a very good salesperson?
No.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, and I'm a good salesperson myself. Now, your platform says you have over 350 collaborators.
Yeah.
Please elaborate on who these people are, and maybe you can highlight some for us.
So 350, what we did was we actually sat with people, with advisors who are from the industry, to identify what are the different categories which people look out for. So it could be like, age wise, it could be interest wise.
Hmm.
And once we did that, we started identifying people who are writing or who are talking on those fields. So like we have Dr. Lee Phillips, who's writing about disability,
Hmm.
sex and disability.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
suppose somebody comes and they look out for it, they know that they'll just go and search, because it's like a search engine. You
Hmm.
go and you search, you might find writings by Lee Phillips.
Mm.
And once you do that, you start connecting with that person. We do have we actually have a porn site, sh.com, which is a woman centric porn site.
Oh, yes, I know her. Yes,
Yeah,
and her husband. Yes.
yeah, I love
Oh,
them.
yeah,
They're
Colin's been on my show. I just I'm waiting for Angie to reply to my emails. Maybe she'll hear this.
amazing. I think they're great.
Yes.
And what has happened is a lot of people in at least in India have started understanding. And they have been times when I've been on some rooms like live sessions, and they've said like, "Hey, we saw sh.com,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a woman. Do you think this platform is for me? Should I
Mm-hmm.
go? Should I check it out?"
Mm-hmm.
So that actually directly, indirectly helped them.
Oh, sure. Oh,
You know?
sure. That's they've won many awards.
Yeah,
That site. Yes.
yeah, they're amazing. Like I don't have
Mm-hmm.
words
Yeah.
to describe
It's a
them.
fabulous.
So
It's a fabulous site.
absolutely. Then we have few toy makers, like production houses. We actually have few other content platforms as well
Mm-hmm.
who are our partners.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just all across the fields. So sometimes, I actually like, how do you play roulette? I just go onto the platform and I just type a random term that I've
Mm-hmm.
come across because
Mm-hmm.
I'm also learning about sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, you end up finding at least one multimedia piece that could be a podcast episode,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a video, that could be a content piece, that could be an expert.
Hmm.
So you end up finding something at least happening there. And that's what's fabulous about it.
Cool. Cool. Now, tell me some more about you. I did a pretty lengthy bio. You've done a lot in your life. Tell me some more about you.
I'm more of a crazy person. If I think that, there's something interesting happening, and if there are a lot of questions that needs to be explored, because every question and every problem has a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I think at least I'm so crazily happily involved with Tickle.life,
I can
because there are
tell.
so many problems. And but every problem has a solution, and that's like the fun part here. I'm from India. I love traveling. I travel all across the world. I don't
Mm-hmm.
even need anybody. I'll just go and travel.
Good for you.
Uh, Most of the time, pre-COVID and hopefully post-COVID, you might find me sitting in a cafe all by myself and looking at people.
Hmm.
And that was actually like the first idea, or the first, like question for sex or for sexual well-being started in a cafe, when I was just looking at people and
Hmm.
watching somebody watch porn on
Hmm.
their phone, and how happy he was. And I was just like, oh my God, he's so happy. So he's
I
happy.
hope both his hands were showing. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a Starbucks, so it was pretty crowded.
Well, you never know. I've heard it done on an airplane, so you just never know.
Yeah. Okay. You've completely spoiled this memory for me now. I
I'm
was just
sorry.
I
I'm a
was just
guy. I'm a guy. I can ruin anything.
I was just focusing on the face and just thinking
Yes.
like, oh, so happy. But yeah, so that's what exactly who I am.
Yeah.
Um, I come from like a very interesting region in India, which
Mhm.
we've seen a lot of ups and downs, political upheavals, and
Mm.
that's exciting as well in a way, but that actually makes you more evolved
Yeah.
and understand integrities and understand that life is really, really important.
Yes.
I was in Netherlands for a while. That's where I did my post graduation, and a lot again of what Tickle.life is doing, and my interest in sexuality comes from there.
Mm.
That was the sex toy shop for
Mm.
you, and
Interesting.
having fun, living life, finding solution. I'm pretty sure we will be able to create the big ecosystem as the fourth front, which
Hmm.
this world needs,
Hmm.
which all of us need.
Absolutely. So, talk about the sexual well-being industry, the difference between that in North America and in India. We talked a little bit about awareness, but how's the sexual well-being industry different?
Okay, so in India, if I start, the rules are pretty ambiguous. We do have some adult stores
Hmm.
online. We do not have offline.
Hmm.
We do have people who are working for sexual well-being. We do have few counselors. Do have few therapists, but it's still at a very nascent stage. People are buying toys. People are excited about toys, but still, like they are skeptical about them. Like even for somebody like me, it took me a lot of time to accept. If I'm staying with my parents, because a lot of people still stay with their parents, I would not want a sex toy coming for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
I don't think many women would.
I think it will also be for men now, because like a lot of
Yeah,
men also stay with
of
their
course.
parents. They
Of
don't
course.
want somebody else opening. Like
Yeah.
it's just awkward.
Yep.
So that's happening in India. People are still very quiet about it. People still want to talk about it, but they do not know how to talk about it. So the industry here is very, very nascent, like
Hmm.
very nascent.
Sure.
There are just like three or four major players here,
Hmm.
but that's actually an opportunity as well,
Big time.
because they get to like get the maximum share, and whatever they say, people listen.
Hmm.
So if I come down to North America, it's already a matured market.
Yes.
But here, the problem is that there are so many things, so many people are doing. There's still a dearth of focus,
Hmm.
and that actually happens because of the problems.
Yes. Yes.
Because yeah, like even for us, we would just like we would just go from one platform to another, to the third platform, to the fourth platform, just thinking like, oh my God, we need people.
Yep.
Second thing is it what at least we see or we've identified is that what really needs to be done is just to focus on your identity, rather than taking care of things like tech, taking care of things like publicity. Because if your identity is created, then things work out, which
Okay.
is missing right now because there's so much to do.
Yes.
And it's crazy, like even like banking is so difficult.
Hmm.
Something which I don't know a lot of people will agree is, I still think we have to work together, which is happening but is also not happening. Because if we have problems with Instagram, we are still focusing most of our energy on Instagram.
A lot.
Yeah. And what if like tomorrow it just goes off? Like we also have an Instagram account, don't get me wrong, but the thing is we know that we cannot spend more than 20 minutes per day on this,
Hmm.
because what will happen like if tomorrow they just take it off?
Hmm. Yeah, and they're little by little. That's happening in adult. What services are you providing to the sexual well-being industry? Hmm.
Like I said, one is the podcast hosting service,
Ah,
uh the world's first sex positive podcast hosting service. That will be
yes.
better, because why me, why not other people? And it's like super cheap. We've just made it a point that we just take money for the servers and for the tech, rather than making money out of it,
Hmm.
because this was not like a revenue model for us. It's more to do with what can we do, how can we bring more people together and more people safe together. The second one is we've started with the SEO service.
Hmm.
The third one that we've started, like I said, like about the newsletter, but it's just not about disseminating newsletters. It's
Hmm.
also about how do you actually draft newsletters?
Yeah.
How do you actually send them? How many times you are supposed to send them in a month?
Hmm.
In what way you're supposed to send them?
Yes.
So it's more of an amalgamation of coaching
Mm.
plus the tech together.
Yes.
And we've also started working with, which has just launched, and it's just with like, two or three people. And it's also going to be like a course, is about how do you use different marketing platforms, which actually has your target audience rather than Instagram or uh, Facebook. They do not.
Hmm.
But there are platforms which actually is right for you, which is not going to ban you if you know how to work on it.
Hmm.
And that's how we actually grew. And because we did not spend even a single penny on advertisements ever. And so we want to like take this up also, but there's also something very interesting that's going to happen very soon. So we have a course, a very small course about back to basics, which was
Mm.
created for the end users. So what
Nice.
we realized was that when we're talking about basics, we also do understand that in the adult industry, people who are actually selling the toys outside and the products outside. They might know about the product, they might know about how to use it, but sometimes they do not know, or they do not have enough information about a person's interest,
Hmm.
their anatomy.
Right.
And when you do not know that, your sales will always be less than it could have become,
It's true.
because people want to go to a counselor and then take a suggestion rather than just going to a salesperson.
Hmm.
So we are launching this course very, very soon, just for the product industry. That, hey, this is a course that's done by a credential, you're going to get certificate. It's been done and created by somebody who's in the industry, who is working in the sexual well-being industry as well, has sold toys also, is qualified enough, has all the right certifications. So
Hmm.
that's something that's going to happen very, very soon. So we are
Hmm.
just on the verge of closing the content, and it's
Hmm.
going to be like a long course,
Hmm.
because we just want whoever is ready to actually go and sell should be made to feel as if that person knows the person and is closer to being a counselor rather than just shoving a sex toy in somebody's face.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. Um, what are the biggest concerns you have as a sex tech founder?
The biggest concerns, one is investments. People are investing, no doubt about
Hmm.
that, but still there aren't a lot of people who are, unless you know the right people.
Yeah.
Second is obviously the tech part,
Hmm.
because we are creating things, but somewhere, down the line, things are closed. How far can we take it? Third, and I think which actually nullifies the first two, is why is the industry overall, I don't mean just like sexual well-being industry or just the adult industry or just the academicians, why everybody is not together,
Hmm.
why everybody's working in silos. Because if you're
Mhm.
working in silos, things are not going to happen.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to work together, and which is still missing, which I think is the major reason why a lot of such negative laws are passed or such negative things happen, or if we are not able to actually scale the level which we could have scaled.
Hmm.
So I just think we have to work together. We have to figure out synergies, and there are like thousands of synergies. It's
Hmm.
not even like a puzzle.
It sounds like this is going to kind of morph into as much of a B2B platform as a B2C. Am I hearing you right?
No. It
Okay.
still is going to be a B2C platform, because if
Okay.
we are not a B2C platform, we would not be in a position to resolve and find solutions for B2B.
True.
So it can't be just a B2B platform, because then we just
Well,
become a tech.
I didn't say plus. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Sorry, I didn't say instead. I said it sounds like you're also going to offer a lot of B2B services.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So
Hmm.
it might work like, two different it is actually right now two different verticals in the team.
Hmm.
So one is the tech team, which is creating for us as a Tickle.life. So Tickle.life is also like a client, you know. So
Right.
Tickle.life content, or the B2C, is also a client. So how do you make Tickle.life grow while you're making us grow? How do you make all those people who are a part of us grow? So whatever is needed for that is what Tickle.life will be creating.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
as So if it is tech services, great. If it is uh, courses, great. If it is edutech, great. If it is sex education, great. We will do it so that the
Hmm.
industry grows together.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, and one thing you're going to find the longer you are in this industry, there actually is people are. I wouldn't say that. I think competitors do work together here,
Yeah.
and they're happy to work together. There are exceptions. Okay, it's always going to be exceptions. There's always going to be that guy, but um, the people in our industry do tend to work together. Now, trying to get them to work more together and to solve a lot of the issues we have with the mainstream platforms and things like that, that sounds fantastic. And I certainly welcome, and I'm sure the industry will welcome any help you can give in that regard.
Absolutely. I'm just an email away. We can get on a call. We can talk. I'm learning, and the
Of
entire team is
course,
learning.
of course.
And we're just like, like when you talk and then you just start understanding, there's something interesting. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see how we can do it. We have a problem. We actually sometimes end up sending like, emails to other people that, how did you resolve this issue?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's just not one side.
And
It's
people will help. People will
Yeah,
help.
absolutely. People help.
People certainly do help because we're really all in this together. Are you is Tickle.life? Are you planning on attending events in the industry?
We did few last year during
Oh,
COVID.
okay.
We did attend like Women of Sex Tech. We did attend sextech.eu. We did attend, there was
Hmm.
another called sextech.com.
Hmm.
We did attend. So this year we are open. We would love to because
Go to some B2B shows that I can advise you on some good ones to go to.
would love to.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, you need to get out there and meet people, Shakun, in our industry and in the B2B shows because that's I think that's going to be the secret sauce for you.
I'm getting
So let's say 5 years from now, where do you see Tickle.life, at? What do you see it becoming that it might not be now?
um we want to reach 10 million users month on
Jeez.
month.
Wow.
It's just simple number. That's what
Mm-hmm.
we want to reach.
Nice. But I mean, what do you see being different about the platform 5 years from now?
See, that's something that that we can't predict
Yeah.
because of this industry. But
Mm-hmm.
we do know that we are on the right path now. We have
Mm-hmm.
experimented a lot in the past one and a half year
Yeah.
about what works, what does not work.
Yeah.
So in a way, to finally say that in 5 years this is what we are going to be, might be something which is not there. But if I still have to put what we are envisioning,
Mm-hmm.
we are envisioning that whenever somebody is looking out for anything to do with sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
that means looking out for resources, looking out for people, looking out for industry, looking out for content, looking out for products.
Mm-hmm.
So maturing into a big marketplace while
Mm-hmm.
remaining a discovery platform is what we envision to happen in 5 years.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Shakun, I have no doubt. And I'd like to thank you for being our guest today on Adult Side Broker Talk. And I hope we'll get a chance to do it again really soon.
Would love to. Thank you.
Thank you. My broker tip today is part 6 of what to do to make your site more valuable for when you decide to sell it later. Here's more information on what to give to a potential buyer. How well has your content been protected from piracy, and what steps have you taken to protect your content? Are you using a piracy takedown or monitoring service? These are important facts to know. What promotional tools do you offer to your affiliates? The more tools you offer, the more successful your affiliates will be. What is your traffic breakdown by country? Tier 1 countries like the USA, Canada, the UK, Germany, and Australia are the most preferred. Add in anything else that will add value to the sale of your property that you can think of, such as what custom scripts do you use? What content management system software is on your site? Do you use billing or affiliate software like NATS or MPA3? What is your retention rate? How you retain your members is of the utmost importance. How many joins and rebills do you have per day? Do you buy advertising, and if so, what kind? Can your content make more money in the DVD or VOD markets, or have you already taken advantage of this opportunity? How much did you spend to produce or buy the content that's on your site? What do you believe the content is worth now? What's special or different about your website? How is it unique? Make sure and include a list of all of the websites you're selling in addition to any domains that come along with the sale. Is there anything that adds value to the sale? Provide them with any additional information upon request. Before giving a buyer any information, have them sign a non-disclosure agreement. If you use a broker, the NDA will be provided for you. Good brokers like, I don't know, maybe Adult Site Broker, have a large resource of potential buyers that are looking for properties just like yours. And they know how to deal with potential buyers. They will also negotiate the terms of the sale, such as price and any payment terms. Before closing the sale, find a good escrow service to make sure that both the buyer and the seller are protected. We have those resources, of course. We'll talk about this more next week. And next week, we'll be talking to Andreas Bischoff of the TES Affiliate Summit. And that's it for this week's Adult Site Broker Talk. I'd once again like to thank my guest, Shakun Sethi. Talk to you again next week on Adult Site Broker Talk. I'm Bruce Friedman.